So, is AI a bubble, or is it the next big thing, the biggest thing that's ever happened to humanity? I'm Dr. Mika, and I'm here to answer this question. Now, I'm an AI researcher, and obviously from my point of view, I have always thought that what we have currently, the large language models, these are like the big thing. This is bigger than anything we have built before as a human race. But the thing is that there are still so many experts out there that just say that AI is a bubble. So it kind of made me challenge my own thinking as well. Is it really so that it's a bubble? Let's take a look at this thing from both perspectives. AI currently is way better than what it used to be. You know, I did my PhD a couple of years back. I graduated in 2020, and at that point we had the silliest problems that were just impossible, very difficult to solve using AI. For example, I was working with these old English letters that were written like hundreds of years ago. AI at that point of time could not understand English from a couple of hundred years ago. It just wouldn't work. So we had to do all kind of things to modernize the spelling, and it was difficult. We needed to have data. We trained models, probably the best that are out there, and they were still very bad. This was the world that we were living in before large language models. And now, when I use large language models, they can just I can give them these old letters, and they will know what they're about. They can just convert the text into modern orthography. They can just analyze the text just like it was anything. And for anyone out there who says that large language models, they only copy what they have seen in the training data, or they can only know the solution if they have seen that in the training data, I can tell you that with these historical texts hundreds of years ago, they don't exist online. There is nothing online that would tell ChatGPT, for example, how to read a letter from 300 years ago. So, large language models, they learn to do things that we don't train them to do, and this is called generalization. They learn things that even OpenAI training ChatGPT wouldn't even know what ChatGPT can do and what it can't do. If you look at some research out there, there is a very cool tree-like thing you can find with Palm model. It is one of the early large language models out there, and if you look at the tree, it starts small, and then they just make the model bigger. No advances in AI research, no magic tricks whatsoever. They just make the model bigger, and lo and behold, it will learn to do new kind of things. First, it knows a little bit of math, a little bit of arithmetic, and later on, it can even explain jokes. And all this is just emerging from data and the complexity of the large language model. So obviously, we are dealing with technology that is way above what we have seen ever before. And this is so exciting because now we get to do things that were impossible before. Now we can dream, and those dreams can come true. Well, this is the AI research side of it. But when we are looking at the financial experts, all of them warn that AI is a bubble. And the argument they do make is that, at least if we look at the big US companies, they seem to be boosting each other. Bloomberg published this very nice diagram where you can see that, well, Nvidia is buying stuff from OpenAI, and OpenAI is somehow giving the money back to Nvidia through different kind of hoops, whether it's through Microsoft or Oracle or whatever. And of course there is the case that Oracle is building a new data center. It's gonna cost a lot of money for Oracle, and the only client is OpenAI, and OpenAI doesn't really have money. Then there is the thing that currently AI is quite cheap. Just last weekend, I decided to prompt a couple of programs for myself. I made a tool that can annotate PDFs, I made a tool that can download YouTube videos, and I made a tool that can edit startup entries on Linux. And all of that, it took a few hours. I used the latest Codex model to do that, and all I pay is 20 euros a month for that. Now, obviously, it's going to cost OpenAI way much more to run these models than what I'm paying them back, and we have seen this happening now that, for example, OpenAI asked Sora for video generation, 20 euros a month. You can generate videos on top of using ChatGPT like you would. And they asked it because it just costs them too much money. And now that they're preparing for IPOs, we are talking about the profits here, because currently OpenAI isn't making any profit. Anthropic isn't bringing any money in either. They are spending investor money. And that's where the bubble is. We can see that AI, it has so much potential. It will change the world. But there isn't just the money coming to these companies. Nobody is there to buy the product. We can see different products that have launched over the years. For example, when I was a kid, there was this tool called, the software called Go Live. And Go Live was amazing. You didn't have to own video games. You could just stream them from their server. You didn't have to have a beefy computer. Everything would run on their server. It was basically like Netflix for video games. But it never worked out for the company. The company went bankrupt. The idea was cool, but the time wasn't right. Internet speed wasn't fast enough. And what I feel is that when I look around, time isn't right for AI yet. In order for OpenAI or Anthropic or Google with their Gemini or whatever AI company to bring in profits, they would either need to serve dumber models, which they won't because all of them just want to go for AGI, or they would have to bring in more money. And when I look at companies, they are not ready. They don't understand. Most companies don't understand what AI can do for them. Usually the thinking is something very basic, like let's have a custom chatbot. Nobody wants to use your custom chatbot. You can do so much more with AI than that. And when companies don't realize it, they don't necessarily want to put the money in. Of course, there is a lot of value in this. If I think about it, now, for 20 euros a month, I can get Codex from OpenAI, part of ChatGPT, and I basically have a hardcore software engineer there. How much money would I have to pay a real software engineer, a human, a month? And he wouldn't be able to accomplish all those tasks that Codex can do. He would take his time, probably go on sick leave, get a kid, parental leave, and me as an employer, I'd have to pay for all those costs, which AI will not have. AI can work 24/7. It never gets sick, never will have their own life and their own ambition, never will have their own goals. AI will just do what I'm paying it to do, and there won't be any surprises. But theoretically, OpenAI could charge me, let's say, 6,000 euros a month. But am I willing to put that much? Personally, no. How many companies are willing to put that much money in? Most aren't yet, because they just don't see the value in it. They don't understand the value. They look at how much AI costs them to use. They don't look at how much value it can bring, and it would bring. So the time isn't right for us to be paying big US companies as much money as they need to make their AI profitable. And because this is the reality we are in, it is really a financial bubble. And two things can be true at the same time. If we look at the dot-com bubble that happened in the early 2000s, internet was the next big thing. It was the biggest thing that had happened to humanity, and it still is the thing in the future. But dot-com bubble, it was a bubble, it happened, it bursted, a lot of people lost a lot of money just because it was unsustainable. The time wasn't right for many of the companies at that point of time, and it was a whole lot of empty promises and thinking about the future that was gonna take several more years to come. And with AI, I kind of feel that it is the same. AI gives us incredible promises for the future, and I truly believe that in the future we're seeing more and more AI being used everywhere, and I love using AI because it has enabled me to do so many more things that I had been able to do before. Not just doing old things in a smarter and faster way, but being able to do things that, I would have never done. Even the simplest things, that if I'm on a trip in a foreign country, I can just ask AI to translate text for me. I know this like crappy old school Google Translate that fails to read what is on your camera, or if you change your camera angle, it just changes the text completely. But this AI that I can kind of count on to do things for me. And this is just like a very simple example from my own life. But companies can do so many more things with AI. They just have to think out of the box. But the time isn't right. So we are dealing with a bubble here, and it will burst. It's not sustainable. It's a circular AI economy. AI companies are boosting each other. They don't bring the profit. I don't see them bringing the profit. And then again, China, no matter how bad American companies want to make China sound like, I think the Chinese companies here are doing the right thing, because they are developing AI models that are quite there. They are almost as good as the models that the big American companies are giving to the world, but Chinese companies are actually making them openly available for everyone. So for those companies who are a bit more agile, who want to go faster with AI, they can just invest in their own server infrastructure. They bear the costs, but they have their own AI coming, and they don't really have to. They don't have to account for all those people who are using AI but not willing to pay as much money as it takes. Like with the OpenAI and Anthropic, they have a lot of users that are using the models more than what they are bringing money back to the company, and that's just not a sustainable business model. It has never been. So, what do I think that companies should do? What do I think that you should be doing now? Well, remember that AI is definitely the future. Explore AI. It doesn't matter if you go with OpenAI or you go with Anthropic or you go with any of the open models. If you have the resources, if you have the GPUs at home, go with the open models. But if you don't, just try it out. I mean, AI is not going to go anywhere. OpenAI might go bankrupt. Anthropic might go bankrupt. This might even bankrupt big companies like Google and Microsoft. But there is always going to be someone else who is going to provide these kind of models. When Nokia went bankrupt, we suddenly didn't stop using phones. Nobody missed Nokia but us Finnish people. People started using different kind of phones. And that is just what's going to happen in the future as well. Big companies go bust and new companies will take over. This is all that I had for you today. If you like my videos, if you like this channel, this is the first video I'm putting online to my channel, so please subscribe. It means more to me than one of those YouTubers that you usually watch, because this is a brand new channel. So please do that, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.